On the morning of June 24, 2016, Chennai, a major metropolitan city in the southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu, woke up like any other day. People rushed to work, trains ran on schedule, platforms filled with commuters lost in routine. At around 6:30 a.m., a 24-year-old woman stood waiting for her train at Nungambakkam railway station. Within minutes, she would be attacked in full public view. What followed was not just a murder investigation, but a wave of fear that spread across an entire city. Welcome to the inner room. And this is the story of Swathi. Swathi was a 24-year-old software engineer working with Infosys in Chennai. She had completed her degree in computer science and had recently begun her career. Every morning, she took the suburban train to work. June 24 was a Friday. She reached the station around 6:30 a.m., as she usually did. To anyone watching, it was just another weekday, another platform, another commute. But sometimes ordinary mornings carry invisible tension. CCTV footage later showed a young man walking along the platform. He appeared to be pacing, moving back and forth. For nearly 10 to 15 minutes, he lingered there. At around 6:40 a.m., as Swathi stood near one of the pillars, the man approached her. In a sudden and brutal attack, he struck her with the sickle, a curved agricultural blade commonly used for farming. The assault lasted only seconds while commuters witnessed the incident. Some stepped back in shock. The attacker fled immediately. Swathi collapsed on the platform, and she was declared dead shortly after. The attack had taken place in broad daylight at a busy railway station during peak commuter hours, and that is what disturbed people the most. This was not a deserted street, not a hidden alley, not the middle of the night. It was a crowded public space, a place associated with routine and safety. The CCTV footage became central to the investigation. Police released still images of the suspect to the public. The city was shaken. In the days that followed, candlelight vigils were held across the city. Strangers gathered, not just in grief, but in anger. Beyond the investigation, conversations intensified across Chennai about women's safety in public spaces. If something like this could happen on a busy platform during rush hour, where else could it happen? Routine suddenly felt fragile. Within days, the suspect was identified as P. Ramkumar, a 22-year-old engineering graduate from Tirunelveli district. What followed was a statewide manhunt. On July 1, 2016, Ramkumar was tracked down to his hometown Meenakshipuram, a village in Tirunelveli district in southern Tamil Nadu. Police reports stated that he attempted to harm himself before being taken into custody. He was arrested and brought back to Chennai. Authorities later reported that he confessed to his crime during interrogation. According to police statements, Ramkumar had allegedly seen Swathi multiple times during her daily commute and is said to have developed an obsession. Investigators suggested that when he believed his feelings were not reciprocated, he planned the attack. Police sources also claim that he was angered after she rejected his advances. Some reports further suggested that he believed she mocked his appearance. However, these claims were never independently established in court. Importantly, there was no confirmed evidence of any personal relationship between them. And this is where the psychological layer becomes important. Rejection is painful, but it is a normal human experience. What becomes dangerous is when admiration turns into fixation, and fixation turns into entitlement. When someone begins to interpret silence as encouragement or distance as humiliation, understanding that shift does not excuse violence, but it does force us to examine early warning signs. Swati's family denied that she knew him personally. On paper, the case appeared straightforward. Accused identified, weapon recovered, confession recorded. But the story did not end there. On September 18, 2016, Ram Kumar was found dead in Puzhal Central Prison. Authorities reported that he had died by suicide, allegedly by biting into a live electric wire. His death triggered public skepticism. Activists and opposition leaders questioned on how such an incident could take place inside a high-security prison. Some forensic experts later expressed doubts about whether his injuries matched what would typically be seen in electrocution cases. With the death of the accused, the trial effectively ended. The case was formally closed the following year. Officially, the motive remained obsession and rejection. Legally, the matter concluded, but emotionally, for many, it did not. Because when a trial ends before evidence is fully examined in court, closure becomes complicated. For some, the case felt resolved. For others, it felt incomplete. And when answers disappear, speculation fills the silence. Swathi was not a headline. She was a young professional, a daughter, a woman simply going about her day. And on a June morning in 2016, her routine ended on the very railway platform where it had begun. Sometimes the most unsettling crimes are not hidden in darkness. They are the ones that happen in plain sight. And the question is not just why a crime happened. It is why so many of us stood still. In moments of shock, do we freeze? Do we assume someone else will step forward? Or have we quietly accepted that danger belongs to someone else until it doesn't? And beyond that, when does attention turn into entitlement? When does persistence become pressure? And when does rejection become resentment? Are we uncomfortable talking about these warning signs until they erupt into something irreversible? Because crimes like these are not only about the attacker, they are also about the silence around them. How often do we mistake routine for safety? And at what point does silence become complicity?